Backstage Pass!
Backstage Pass.
Backstage Pass.
Backstage Pass.
I am the producer of Arizona's only entertainment variety show, Backstage Pass and Backstage in Arizona. And we're seen at 11 o'clock right here, Friday nights. And we feature the very best national and Arizona talent side by side. You can't even tell who's who. But one thing you can guarantee, it's great entertainment, professional. And we would like to see you here. And don't forget,
And Backstage Backstage Tempe.
Backstage Pass.
Backstage Pass.
Backstage Pass.
Hi everyone, this is Rob Halford from Judas Priest. What are you doing this Friday? You should be checking out, of course, the one and only Backstage Pass, Arizona's entertainment show.
Good evening and welcome to Backstage Pass. We're Arizona's only entertainment variety show. My name's Joel Samuel and I'm your host. We've got a great show in store for you tonight. And with us, after not having him on the show for 4 years, is Rob Halford, lead singer for Judas Priest. When we return, we'll get into a conversation with him. So stay tuned for more. We'll be back right after this. And we're back here on Backstage Pass, and with us is our guest tonight, Rob Halford, lead singer from Judas Priest.
4 years later.
4 years later.
I must have made a big impression on this show.
Yeah, last time you were on, you were interviewed by Cindy Garrett. Now
yes, that's right. Where's Cindy these days?
She's in Florida. And
is she?
Yeah, doing the MTV thing down there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, great.
But
Good
right now, one of the questions, and we were discussing a little bit earlier, let's share it with our audience, is 18 years as a top heavy metal
Did I
band.
say that? Is it 18 years? He doesn't say, look at this. Where's the wrinkles?
There are none. I mean, that's
I haven't
good
taken
living,
out every
right?
12 weeks. Well, yeah, I guess a lot of it, something to do with that, yeah. Obviously, you know the stories about rock and roll, and you either make a decision
share some of them for the audience. Have you ever told anything on a radio or television talk show that, could you tell us something that you haven't said on another talk show?
You want an exclusive?
Yeah, an exclusive, something unique.
You've put me on the spot, and maybe we can come back and think about that, because I don't recall anything immediately. I have to get vibed up for these sensational stories. Well, nothing immediately comes to mind, but if I think of one, you'll be the first to know.
Okay, 18 years as the top heavy metal band. What do you really love heavy metal music, or do you like listen to jazz or new age when you're at home alone?
Well, I'll get to answer the first part of your question. I think the fact that we have been around for so long is the immediate answer to that, of course, is that we do love this music so much with a passion that it still means as much to me and to everyone else in the band now as it did all those years ago. And I think that's one of the great commitments about this style of music, you know, the attachment that you get drawn towards right from the early days is something that never leaves you. So it's an ongoing thing, and we have been together for so many years, and I think that's more than the proof to show just how much we still feel for what we do.
Now,
but I mean, as far as other types of music, my first love is heavy metal, but I listen to all kinds. I mean, I'm not a single-minded musician. Nobody in the band is, and I think that's another reason why we've been able to put so many years into the band, because we all have varied interests musically outside of heavy metal, and we draw upon those interests to use musically when we come to write songs. And that's when you listen to any of the Priest albums, 13 or 14 albums we've made, they've each got their own particular identity that's drawn on from the fact that we don't just play everything in A for 58 bars with a 64 bar lead break. It's a lot of it's a lot of hard work for those people that don't know anything about heavy metal. It's not just going in there and making a noise, folks. It's a very professional and can be complicated style of music.
You write the lyrics to?
Yeah, I write the lyrics and some melodies and stuff like that. But it's an open book. Myself, Ken and Glenn have been the consistent songwriter since British Steel as a threesome.
Well, what are the messages? I know each album says something different, but what's on your mind now? What are you trying to say in your music?
Well, again, after having recorded so many hundreds of songs and so many more hundreds that don't even make it to vinyl, it is difficult to come up with something that's fresh and original. So that's the biggest headache, really, when you're coming to put something together from a lyrical point of view. It's bad enough musically, but at least you have got a bit more flexibility there. But when it comes to the words, because words are very important, it depends. We address a lot of different issues. We try not to be a politically motivated kind of band with what we sing about, but we touch on various areas, some sensitive, nothing too sensational or outrageous, because we've never been that kind of group.
You don't do the love songs
You
specifically.
never know.
You never know. I mean,
You could see me in Vegas yet, folks. No, I think we just try and come up with as many new things as we possibly can, and it just takes a lot of hard work and a lot of thought and time and effort to do it. But we still do it, you know.
now, you're originally from England, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you maintain a home there?
Yes, I maintain a home in England, and of course, as you know, and most people in the Phoenix area know, I live here in PV. I have done for a number of years now.
Why did you pick Arizona?
Well, the quick story to this is that when I first came to Phoenix in '79, I think it was, it just blew me away, because here was the cactus and the cowboys and the Indians, and I grew up with that as a kid in England, you know, watching the kind
Hopalong
of Cassidy.
Yeah.
There's showing my age tonight, folks.
Well,
but
I guess
that
my
kind
age
of
too.
stuff, and to actually get off the bus and see it, it just freaked me out. And this is the most wonderful place in the world. I mean, it's still got that pioneering spirit about it here in the Southwest. There's a lot of energy and a lot of excitement, people pushing forward in all different types of things, you know, electronics and the arts and a whole bunch of different worlds. So that's what I find attractive about the Valley, amongst a lot of other things. It's a great place for me to come and recharge the batteries too, when I go back to my house and check out the view of the city, and it's just living here is just a wonderful thing to do, as I'm sure a lot of people that have moved to the Valley feel the same way.
Now, but a lot of people aren't in a super group and are recognized everywhere they go.
Yes.
So what's that like, having people constantly, you don't have much of a private life, or do you?
Yes, I mean, the nice thing about living here is because a lot of people do know that I live in this part of the world now, and people respect that side of it, you know. And so when I go out to the clubs, or if I'm driving around or in the street or whatever, you know, people will come up and say hi, and just I think it's a very small price to pay for what I've been given, you know.
Oh,
and so I welcome the opportunity to do whatever, you know, is the right thing to do when that kind of situation arises.
Now, a lot of your fans are probably wondering, do you really have such an exciting life like all the rock stars?
Yes, it's great, actually. It's the best job in the world.
I guess you got to say that.
No,
right?
it's wonderful. It really is. And I mean, you decide yourself how crazy you want to get. But it's there for the taking, basically, and you're either sensible about it or not. But I think, again, all the years show and go to prove that we've been more than sensible in enjoying what we do, getting the thrill of a lifetime out of it, but still, here we are, having a great time all these years later, healthy and happy, and can't beat it.
Now, all the other members of the band have their own houses somewhere else? How
Yes.
often do you practice? Just when you
Not
go
very
into the
often.
studio? And on live?
You'll be surprised, actually. We only get together as a band generally when we're either going to work in a studio or if we've got a tour to come up and do. We make a world tour about once every 2 years because we like to keep ourselves fresh and new and exciting when we come into town. We like to have something new to show, some new songs to play. So outside of when we finish work, I mean, I haven't seen anybody in the band since October last year. It's like you know, I bet some people wish marriages could be like this.
How often do you talk to them?
Oh, gosh.
Are you guys best friends, or is it business now?
No, we're very good friends. It's like a family. We're like brothers, you know. But it's great that we're able to take the time away from each other and to go back to our families, whatever, and then come together to work. But it's just a very, very wonderful and lucky relationship, because we're not one of these bands that's got a new singer every album or a new guitarist every third song. And I think that's another one of the qualities that people find attractive about the band, that you know it's going to be consistent, you know. And, you know you're going to see Rob and Ken and Glenn and Dave and Ian, and I think people like that.
And let's say 20 years from now, will Judas Priest be like the Beach Boys?
We could be going into the Grateful Dead syndrome here,
That's
couldn't
true.
we? I don't know. You see, the other thing about heavy metal is that I don't think there's a great deal of importance attached to the age side of it.
That's right.
I think because of what the music has to offer to people, the great things that it does to people emotionally and what it gives them, I don't think people take in too much of that side of it, you know, the looks and the age and so forth. So it's something that we don't really worry about. We've just said that as long as people want us to keep doing it, we'll keep doing it, and as long as, more than anything, as long as the music's good, you know, and that we're consistent, we're able to make good albums, good songs, as long as we can keep doing that, then we shall continue.
But it's more, you're more than just the band that, you know, that plays in the club circle, let's say, it's become a business.
Yeah.
You're involved in many different
Oh,
businesses.
you have to be aware of that, yeah. I mean, and
It's a big business.
Yes, and there's a lot of crooks in rock and roll. There's a lot of crooks in a lot of areas. But so you have to make an effort to look into those areas outside of music. So we've all got involved with the record company side of it, the publishing, merchandise, everything else. And I would suggest anyone thinking of moving into rock and roll as a profession takes the time to look into those things as well, because it's not just all being on stage. Sometimes you do have to walk into a lawyer's office and sit down and make sure you understand the contract. It's important stuff.
A lot of people still don't understand heavy metal. They think that if you play your albums backwards, you're going to hear Satan talking.
Yes, if you play Jerry Falwell backwards, he sounds a bit weird. But
I'm sure.
we're going through a bit of a nightmare with that, as you may have heard, with the terrible things that have happened in Reno, Nevada, and it's got to the point now where it's become something of a, I won't say a farce, because I don't want to belittle the importance of the issue, but I think that Judas Priest is being used as a bit of a whipping post here, and we're being used as an example. So we have to be very careful about what we say, but I think enough is being said for us on behalf of our CBS lawyers and a few other people to hope that the outcome will be in our favour, because that will be the sensible thing to do. We're dealing with your First Amendment here, freedom of speech.
Not only that, but I see a specific, right, visually.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to the Middle American, or especially in the Bible Belt, or highly religious, you're dressed like the typical image of what they're afraid to let their kids look like, because, you know, with the skulls on your rings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel that that will influence somebody in the negative? Or?
I think that this is where we have to be careful. This is where we have to show that there's two sides to every story, and there's always been a misconception about heavy metal music, about rock and roll since day one.
Probably a misconception about you.
Of course,
they
you know.
no concept of how you
but
really
it's essentially it's image, it's a way of life, you know, and I've always maintained that everything that this band has ever done has been in a very, very positive form. We've never been a negative band that's gone out and preached bad things, and we've never had any ambition or idea to do that. We've just been out there to just be a great, good time, rowdy rock and roll band. And I think if we'd have took that course, we wouldn't have been around for as long as we have. And people don't hear about the good things that Priest does, and that's because we don't want to make a song and dance about it. But there's more to it than meets the eye, and it's only these people that don't really know, you know, the uninformed people, the people that only see the bad reports, that get the wrong end of the stick.
And they're not personal friends that would know you personally, and
of course,
know that
yeah,
you definitely.
So I would say to any of you that don't really know much about Priest or metal or whatever, then don't judge the book by the cover, because that's not the way it is.
For yourself. Sure. So stay tuned for more. We've got an exciting show for you coming up more right after this.
Hi everyone, I'm Rob Halford from Judas Priest.
And I'm Jim Keeler from Where It's Hot Weekly, and he's from Where It's Hot Weekly too.
The publishers of Where It's Hot Weekly.
Pick it up. We have a hot new entertainment guide for the Valley. It tells you all about
Dining,
health and beauty.
food's important.
Yeah.
Automotive,
Entertainment.
sports, everything. Check it out, Where It's Hot Weekly. Hi everyone, this is Rob Halford from Judas Priest. Be sure to check out this Friday's edition of Backstage Pass, when yours truly will be giving you all the intimate details about the Priest and what we're up to next. Of course, the wonderful Joel will be here, of course, and my good friend James Keeler from a new hot magazine, Where It's Hot Weekly. Check us out, don't miss us. Always free, every week. The Valley's leading entertainment paper. Entertainment, sports, culture, great looking people on cover. It's everywhere. Shouldn't be without one. Yeah, entertainment. From Where It's Hot Weekly. Don't take it too meekly. It's a hit.